Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Liliveth Tate channel. Hello, how is everybody in the world today, tonight, afternoon, and your time? So today is 12:35 e.m. here in the Philippines. Is May 27, 2025. So today is, well, this is my 12 midnight talk, and then the title of my show is Finding Afam. So that's Filipino slang words. Afam means Western boyfriend. All right. So a while ago, I was checking on my some of my video. There's, I think, I'm sure it's Filipina. Okay. I don't know who she is. Okay, but it's just like I don't know if she's desperate looking for a farm or what, because she told me that she has 3 kids, she's available or what. So the comment that she's comment on my picture, that she said that I was madam, I was so blessed or what, but in the other hand, it's just like, it's I don't know, it's something not right. Lone warrior, hi lone warrior, where are you from? Where are you from, Hiram? Where are you from first? Okay. I really don't know what to do. What do you mean you don't know what to do? What did you do? From India. Hello, people in India. What do you mean? I don't really get it. What did you do? How old are you? How old are you, if you don't mind? How old is your stepmom? Are you Asian? Are you European? Are you American? What is your race? 23. Is your dad knows that you like you? What do you mean you like? Because there's so many factors that you can tell that you like her as your stepmom, you like her as your, as as a mother figure, you like her because you're looking for a girlfriend. What kind of like? Beagle support group, hello, from Asian. What part of Asia? Are you Thailander? Are you Malaysian? Chinese? Japanese? I'm sure you're not Filipino. Indonesian? What? Lel Madro. Lel Madro. Where are you from? So yeah, that's a good thing, guys, because my subject for today is looking for a farm or looking for a mate. Finding a farm. China. Okay. You're too young, you're too young. So maybe you're looking for a mother figure. That's why you like older women. Is your relationship with your mom is good or what? Usually that's what men uh, said that, they like older women because they're longing for a mother figure, especially if their mom passed away and they know it's hard for them to accept that their mom is no longer here on the earth. So it's just like they're looking for uh, older women. And yeah, and there's a lot of people, there's a lot of men that, different countries, not only in Asia, but also in Europe, in United States of America, that they fell in love with older women as literally old. Okay. No, my real mom is alive. So meaning your parents are separated, because you said stepmom. Is your relationship with your real mother or biological mother are good? So here's the thing that I would like, especially for those Asian women. They think that it's easy to find a Western boyfriend. No, you can't. It's kind of a hard, especially if they looking for a serious relationship. Same thing with Asian women, serious relationship. But if they want to have friends, so it's easy. But if you really look for the relationship, it's kind of a hard. All the things that you've done to a person, you have to earn that. You have to show to the person that you're deserve, or you're qualified for that attention or relationship that you're looking for. Yeah, relationship is good. Okay, I'm still here. Okay, thank you. So guys, just only, just few people give me a like. They love to view me, but just few people give me a like. So don't forget guys to give me a like. Yeah, if those people that they not really serious about looking for their mate, they don't really care about that, because it's just like they are not serious. Okay, if that relationship that they deal with a person, if it's successful, if it's not, it's okay for them, no big deal. Okay. So lone warrior, make sure that you will not get in trouble if your dad knows that you like your stepmom. Okay, because you have also put boundaries to like a person, especially that's your uh, dad wife. Okay, thank you. So guys, I really want to, I hope that, at the end of the month I can reach, the 4,000 subscribers. I wish, okay, I wish. So I need your help, to uh, have my 4,000 subscribers for the month of May, until the end of May. There's something wrong with your brain. Okay, I don't want to deal with that. I don't think you are from China. You're just using other name. Okay, I don't think you are a real person. I can smell you now. So don't waste your time, okay? And don't waste my time for that, because I'm serious about my topic. Ask yourself, not me, because you're the one who gonna do for yourself, not me. And I'm not really interested, to give that because I can smell something fishy about you. I don't think you are from China. Maybe I know you, but you're using different name. Okay. I can smell you. Okay, you're from India. Yeah, the reason why, guys, I mentioned about, looking for a mate. It doesn't really matter for, where you're from. Okay, where you're from. But most of Asian, they prefer to go with, with Western men. Because if the Western man knows that you are serious to them, and they really don't care what is your past. I thought I was Chinese, but I'm actually half Filipino, half something else. I do not. Well, okay. What do you mean, Lil Mandro? So I was kind of right. What do you mean you are kind of right? Right of what? Right of way? But not all, not all Asian women are, they are, it's just like they're they're qualified to become your, future wife. Not all, okay, not all. And it depends, the personality of a person or a woman that you meet. Sometimes some women, uh they just want to be friend, but they don't want commitment. But like I said, okay. So like I said that, for Western people or from other part of Asia, majority of people, they prepare to pick Filipino women because when it comes to wifey material, we are the best. We're the best. We're the best for that. So w- Filipino women are multitask. Okay, multitask. If you pick the right one, you're very lucky. But sometimes some of my people are prone of doing scam online. Not all, okay, not all, but some they do scam online. So you have to be aware of that. So what I mean is be careful what you choosing, what you pick, because you can see some of my people, particularly Filipino women, they are so nice when they talking online. Wait until like over a week, they starts to demand things, particularly money. But for those, for those serious and good women, they don't ask money from you guys. So if you met a Filipina, first week of conversation, they ask money from you, my advice is run or stop talking with her, because once you give her money, do you think it's not that's the end? No, that's the start. That's the start of your headache. I got that was I that I was half Filipino. I still got string. Okay, good. And I mentioned this on my other live streaming that don't really believe what they look on, when they do live, or on the picture that they send it to you, because they use filter for that. Okay, wait until you meet. If she's this pretty, because sometimes some women that they are not confident, they hide their personality, they love to use filter. What? It's just like, filter on their phone, filter on their camera, so that they look, because that's possible, even though that, the woman look uh 75 years old or 80 years old. When they use the camera that has filter, they look 20 years old or 25 years old for that. So you have to be careful. Don't believe right away unless you meet that woman in person, that you can really tell, oh, this is it. She's legit. She's real woman. She's beautiful. And sometimes beware of talking, because not all are real women. Some lady boy are very look pretty also. Actually, and in Thailand, there's a lot of lady boy, but they're very honest to tell that they are lady boy. They are not real women, especially in Pattaya, because most of business in Pattaya is bar. So lady boy is in the front, to um, what do you call that, invite those tourists, to go their bar, because in their bar there's a billiard or uh, different games that they uh, create on their bar so that it can really attract customer, not only for drinking. There's so many, like they do dancing, or like disco, or they do karaoke. Hello, guest Sanders, good morning. Okay, hold on my phone. I don't know, guys. I can't really sleep because this afternoon I went to the mall. I bought family size of supreme pizza, and once I eat pizza, I love to drink Coke. But the side effect of Coke, I cannot really sleep because of the caffeine. So yeah, because I feel good when I eat pizza, and then with cold Coke. Oh my goodness, so good. Oh, good to hear that you're doing good, Gas Sanders. So yes, that's actually, most of Asian people, they think Asian women, I mean. Oh really? Oh my God, I can't able to sleep when I drink coffee. But once I drink, because I drink 2 glass of Coke. So I think I take a lot of coffee, but I keep yawning. But my brain is, it's still alert. I don't feel sleepy. So I decided to do live streaming, even though if it's actually I don't I refuse, to do live. So I went to bed. I just keep moving and moving. I can't really sleep. I keep yawning. My eyes is teary, but I'm not feel sleepy. That's the side effect of too much Coke that I had this afternoon. Oh yeah. Yeah, because I'm not really used of drinking coffee and Coke. I don't. So, but if it's morning, I can still able to sleep. But if it's afternoon, like 5 o'clock, I cannot sleep. That sometimes I refuse to drink. The only thing that I drink Coke because I eat pizza. What state are you from, Gas Sanders? So I love, the regular Coke. Georgia. Oh. You know the they said that Georgia is well known of peach. So Georgia, yes, because that's what Frank told me, that Georgia is one of the best peach and peanuts. Actually, I'm not really into the peach, because you know what? Uh, my boss, my Korean boss before, the wife, when she visit Philippines, she gave us, peach. But when I try the peach, it's sour. So even in the can, I just try it, but I'm not really into that. Because, it's sour. Hi, MP. Oh my goodness. I just do live because, I can't really sleep because, a while, this afternoon, we bought, pizza. Usually, when we eat pizza, I love to drink Coke. Actually, we have Arizona punch tea. So I told Frank, oh, I want Coke. Okay. And I drink 2 glass of Coke because I eat, two slice of pizza. Oh my goodness. So I already wearing my pajamas and go to bed, but I keep moving, moving, moving. So Frank it's already, sleeping, and I don't want to bother him. Okay. So I just came out here in the living area and do live streaming. So maybe later. Well, warm milk, they said it helps. So I try warm milk later if I can able to sleep. Yeah, my goodness, I prefer to eat green mango because I know it's sour. But the peach, oh, I like the Australian grapes, the green one. The green one. I like it because it's so sweet. But you know what, guys? It's kind of a spicy here in the Philippines. So I think, the 500 grams, about 500 pesos. But I like, because, I like grapes with, with cheddar cheese. Oh my goodness. That's my favorite snack. Australian grapes, the green, the seedless, and then cheddar cheese. Oh my goodness. I'm not really into the red because red it's more on, it's easy to rotten, and you don't really notice if it's still firm because um, a few weeks ago I tried to buy the red Australian grapes, but it's soft. I want the green one because you can really tell that it's really firm. But the one it's soft. I'm not really into the soft. I want when you eat it's gonna you can hear the crackling. So I like that. Yeah, but it's kind of a spicy here, MP. Cheddar cheese, my goodness, so good. I love that. So let's go back to finding a farm. So I was surprised about that. I'm sure that's Filipina. Maybe I know her, but the the comment she had. She said on the comment, but I have to remove because it's not really nice to read. Okay, because it's just like she's what do you call that? Pimp herself towards me so that I can give her a western boyfriend. No, I don't want that. Because that kind of they just want, because they look for other for other Filipina that the relationship is it's it's really work. No, it's not that easy because they think finding a western boyfriend or husband it's easy. No, you have to earn that, because of course they have to earn that from you also. It's not the thing that you meet, you feel in love, and he likes you right away, or you like him right away. You have to observe, do you have something in common? Are you compatible with each other? or else you just after his money. Once you after his money, I don't think that, the relationship or the friendship that you're going to build with him, it work. I don't think so. Because most of people, not, I'm not saying all, but most of most of Asian women, particularly Filipino women, I'm not saying all, okay, I'm not generalized Filipina, okay, because majority of Filipina, that's why, Western people, they pick us than their women. But sometimes you cannot really tell that, there's some, like in the family, there's a black sheep, okay. So most of some of they just after the money, because there's still, there's still believe, uh, there's still believe that once they meet a Western man, they think that all Western men are rich, okay? But it's not. If they have money, because they work hard for that. So they don't really understand that. So in their mind, so, and of course, it's a big deal. It's a big deal for Filipino women to have a Western man boyfriend, or let's say American. That's a big deal. But now that, some men also are, they really look for their security when it comes to relationship, okay. So most of my people, it's just like, no, they ask, there's a lot of people that, they ask when they look at my situation towards Frank. Of course, I have to invest that for him, and also he has to invest that for me, so that, the relationship that we build from the start, it will be strong, and we're getting strong and stronger. So it's not the thing when you meet right away that person will like you. No, it's not. You have to invest, like, trust. You have to invest that, respect, loyalty, and more. Okay, just the only, I just example for that. Yes, yeah. I understand that, I understand that, MP, that, but it's not really as, as it's not really as like in the West, that women act, how they treated, how they treated their, how they treated men. But some Filipino, I think is because, some Filipino women, they are, they are used of dealing online, okay. They dealing different, different, so they have experience about that. So, and I just recommend, I just tell some of my friends that, no, I will not recommend a man or a woman to you if you don't know that person, and I don't know that person. I will recommend a woman that I know 100%, so that that woman will be serious, and the relationship that you're gonna start, it will work. But if it's not, then it's not also good on my side that I will recommend a person that is not trustworthy, okay. So I don't really understand that, they think that, of course, I have, classmate in high school, and then he said, I'm so, I'm so lucky to get to have Frank. Yes, I'm so lucky, but you know what? Before Frank that trusts me, I have to show something to him that, like investment, respect, trust, loyalty, whatever, and more. So I have to invest that to him. So in short, you have to earn that so that the person will like you, and then the person will, uh, will serious. Okay? If not, and especially if you're just after their money or what, it will not work no matter how good you are, unless guys, that a man don't really want to build a relationship with a woman. It's just like he wants to play games, or just only intimacy thing. Yeah, they will, they will talk to you. But for women that really think that this man is serious, no, I don't think so. Because some men, okay, some men, they just want to talk or deal with a woman because they want to have intimacy with a woman. And then after that, if they're not really into that, they're looking for something, they just, okay, bye bye. And they not really talk about how to build relationship. It's just like they're more onto the happiness. Okay. So, and this is thing that I will share. If the man will talk to you, and then they're more onto the future plan together, and you can notice that that man always include you in his uh, plan in the future, you will you will be lucky, because that man is serious to you. That man wants to build a family with you. Same thing with a woman. Okay, if because each of us has plan, but sometimes men and women, they just want to plan by themselves. Okay, they don't include their partner, or let's say boyfriend or girlfriend, in their plan in the future. So you have to think about that first. Okay, because if the man like you, that man always include you in his plan in the future. Well, some people, they don't really understand that kind of uh, situation, because some of men also are, like, they are not serious. Okay, like I said, that they really want to talk with a woman, but when it comes to settle down, they are not. They just want to have friends, and like they wanted to have intimacy with a woman. So it's it's up to the woman if they want that. And this is one thing that most of men, they yes, they don't want commitment. Yes, correct. Some men, okay, they just want to talk with a woman, but they don't really want to tell their intention. What is your intention? Okay? Wh- Because here, some Western some Western men coming here in the Philippines, their intention just to uh, get out of the matrix, too much, too much toxic, so they want to they want to have a peaceful mind, so that's why they come here in the Philippines and take vacation. But some men, they just want, you know it's all about intention. Okay, some men, they just want to come here, explore their singleness with single women, or it's up to them whether single or with or married or what. It depends. Okay, and then some, they just want to come here because their intention wants to know the country, because some, they just want to retire here and look how to make money here. That's, it's there's so many factors, what kind of intention. So if you meet, like for women, it doesn't matter where you're from. If you meet a man that his intention is just to explore their singleness, don't really think that once you know that that's the man, that's your boyfriend. No. Okay, because some of women here, like Filipina, once they come here, that they really once the man visited here and met her in person, if they don't really tell what's their intention, the women expect that they are boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, so, and then if the man will not tell, oh, Shadow, hello, Shadow, good morning. If they not tell the intention towards a woman, so the woman, like I example, like Filipina, they expected that you are his boyfriend. Okay, but in your mind, it's not. They just want, because sometimes, guys, it's different, the feeling that you talk online than in person. Okay, it's easy to fake your emotion online, but if you see in person, you can't really fake, because sometimes you like that person, we're talking online, but in person you realize that i I don't like the way he act. I don't like, it's different, guys. That's why some Western people coming here in the Philippines, they like Filipina, but some Filipina they don't like, because you know uh it's different, the feelings when you meet in person. So I have friends from Danao. Okay, she's a blogger. And then the guy from, I don't know what the, when they're talking online, they're very sweet. Actually, he's the moderator of that woman. But he came here in the Philippines, and then the girl, because younger than her. So the girl, of course, she just like him because, of course, the man sending money to her, of course. And then things that she wants, she bought that for her. So, of course, she's really into that, but she's really want same her age. So the relationship did not work. And then he saved his money for 2 years, and then when she came here, she think that she can get the sweet yes of the girl, but sad to say that uh he did not successful to get that sweet yes. So the relation did not work. Okay. I agree with you about one that is definitely true. Yes. So I think for me, because here's, if I'm the woman, okay, example, if I'm the woman, if there's a Western man come here in the Philippines, this is example only. Ha? If I'm a single, if I'm a single woman, and then the man come here, and then he tells me what his intention. He just want to uh, come here just to know me, and there's no commitment there. So wait until when you meet, and then if it's suddenly that he has feelings that there's a spark, that of course it's up to the man if tells the woman, okay, I will upgrade. I will upgrade my feeling towards you. Okay, I want to build relationship with you. Because you meet in person. So sometimes once you meet in person, there's no spark. And sometimes, women, you can really tell, guys, the women from the first meeting, you can really tell the personality of a woman, if she act fake, if she act real. You can tell. And me also, I can tell. Because I've been meet a lot, one, two, three Western people, four in person. But each of them has their personality. Okay, has their personality. Okay. But there's the other one that I don't really like. But I just be friendly to him. But I don't want to tell him in person. But I think that's I tell to myself, on the next time if this man will invite me to meet in greet, I refuse, because he can't barely I'm not saying that here's the thing, guys. Okay, for me, if you're a gentleman, because me also, even though I offer something to a man, but that time, guys, I never that's why Frank always tells me, bring extra money. Okay, we never know if that person will not give you something or what. So if he order food for himself, then you have also money to order for yourself, if that meant, because we never know, right? I don't expect that, but Frank always tells me, bring more money. Okay. Oh my goodness, guys, he knows that I'm arrived. And you know what he did? He ate, because I told him, lunch time. You already talked that we have a lunch time, and then after that I'm gonna do interview with him. Oh my goodness, guys, the girlfriend, I don't know, the girlfriend really rushing him to eat. My goodness, and then I told him, in just a few minutes I'll be there. Oh my goodness, guys, they eat together. Okay? So my goodness, oh my God, I can tell, oh, he's not a gentleman. Okay? And then when I arrive, okay, he never offered me water or what. But I don't, I expect that to a man. But for me it's given. I was surprised, I was surprised. So I remember what Frank told me. Good thing that because I just bought some money that good for my transportation going and back home. Okay, because I thought that we have a lunch, and also I have extra money for if ever that I order. But Frank told me, bring more. My goodness, guys, I never had, I never. But, of course, I don't want to show an attitude or what. But I'm still accommodating to him. But, and the second thoughts that, no, if this person will tell me to have this, I will refuse. He never offered me water. Okay. And then there's a guy that, there's two guys that I really, but anyway, because, every time I go, uh, the first, Frank with me. So Frank always, always that for the bills. But, the guy that insists that he pay the bills, but I don't let him. So just, but I also give advice for those, wants to meet in great that, don't expect that the man that you're going to meet, that he's the one who gonna pay your food. No, don't change your mindset for that, okay? If he once tells, okay, I'm the one who gonna pay the bills, all right? But don't expect he's the one. So always bring extra money. So I always listen that to Frank when I go some, people that wants to meet. Okay, so that's the thing. Oh, I don't want to, I don't want. And then I heard so many people that complain about that. Okay, so no, no, thank you. But uh, well, I just invite here my house Jerome. I know MP, Jerome. But you know what? Jerome was, he's a nice man, okay? So, but he complained about things that he complained about, good complaint, not bad complaint. So the second time he came here, he said that, he feel pregnant. And the first one, he cannot breathe. Oh my goodness, yeah, when I, MP, when I saw him, when he walked that, he has like that, and then, of course, his pants starts to tight. And then, I asked, because I have so many food that I prepare for him. Of course, I'm excited also to, share some Filipino food, okay? And then I asked, are you finished? And then he said, yes. Okay. And then, I served three dessert. Oh my goodness. At first, you know what, MP, I'm so shy, because I don't know if it's, American that, after like, after eating, we Filipino always bring home, okay? So there's a lot of food that I cook, my, imagine. So maybe the people that can eat the food that I cook first time he came here, maybe, six people. So I refuse to give food to him, like bring home, because I didn't ask Frank, okay? I forgot to ask Frank. And then, because I don't want, maybe, he feels that I insult him for giving, for giving him, bring home food. Oh my goodness, what, that food that I cook, 4 days. 4 days that we eat, because, there's a leftover. And then I asked Frank, is that okay for American people that, after dinner or lunch, we can give them food? Is that okay? It's not an insult. And then he said, oh yes, we do. Because, it's very common for Filipino that after we eat, if there's a leftover food, we just pack that and bring home. And then the second time, yes. Because I asked Frank. Because, I told Frank, oh my goodness, Frank, I'm tired of eating, the food. It's already 4 days, but it's still a lot. So we have to. So I told him, okay, next time I just really, estimate the food. But it's still plenty. So that's the time that, I asked him that it's okay. So I give him, some food. So it makes me laugh about that. Oh my goodness. He was surprised that, he thought that, it just only finished, and then I gave him, three Filipino desserts. So I cook coconut pudding. It's really good. He likes that. And what else I give to him? Egg pie. No, 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 not egg pie. And then fruits, of course, we always have fruits. What else, Because usually when he came here, I gave, three dessert. And then, we call that leche plan. Have you tried MP the leche plan? Egg custard? He was surprised about the egg custard. We call that leche plan. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay. If you come here in the Philippines, I will let you try, the leche plan. I know your fiance, she knows that, the leche plan. It's just like in English, egg custard with, with the with the caramel. But sometimes depends, depends. But, there's a store that, they really cook leche flan so good. It makes me laugh. At first, he a bit shy, because you know what he said, the second time, but the second time he really feels at home, because I let him feel that, he's the part of family. I don't want him to feel shy or what. And then I told him, come on, feel at home, okay? And then, they talk with Frank, things what's going on in the Matrix. And then I was there in the kitchen cooking food. He smelled the food that I cook, and then he heard the sizzling. And then I was surprised, my goodness, because every time I cook, I'm wearing apron. And then he's surprised that I'm wearing apron. Because, he said that, it's been a long time he never seen that a woman cooking in the kitchen wearing apron. Thank you for coming, Shadow. So, yeah, and then for me, huh? And then, that's the thing that, of course, I always make sure that my house is clean, okay? When you open the door, smell good. Because it's just like, I don't know, it's just like my personality. The smell of my house, the cleanliness of my house represent myself, okay? So that's how I look. And then, he said that, the second time, because, he feels at home. I just, while they're talking, hi, Cher. And then he said he doesn't want to go around because he don't want to get, the floor dirty, because, he said I really, he's so immaculate. No, I told him, no, you don't have to. Because, he just like, He said that, I will complain. No, I'm not. Jesus Christ. I'm not. And that's the reason why I keep my house clean because I love to clean. I don't complain. Oh my. Frank never heard that I complain. Never. It's not my personality to complain. Who's this? Sham Babe Madal. Hey, how are you today? I'm doing good. Where are you from? Oh yeah, but on the second time, I at the second time, MP when he came here, I just let no, come on, come on. I just let him Frank and sit here in the couch and they talk, men's talk. I was there in the kitchen and then if I can hear something and then I just, just took a few, but I was concentrating. I concentrating cooking food and then the only time that I bother him because it's time to eat. Okay. I'm talking about my friend Jerome. When he visited here my house, he's a nice man. But you know what? This is one thing that I was surprised when I met him. His face, MP. His face is not what you see on, on the video. He's a good-looking man. Okay, thank you for coming. He's a good-looking man. Okay, hello people in India. What water you drink? Alkaline water, Shadow? Oh my goodness. Speaking of water, here in the Philippines, we don't drink water. Yeah. But he's not as tall as Frank. Frank is a 6 footer. Frank is 6 foot, 6 feet tall. But I think he's just like 5'7". Well, it is just tap water. Ah, speaking of water, we don't we cannot drink water directly in our faucet. So actually, our water here, I bought water from the store, alkaline water. Well, we have a filter water here, but we try, distilled water. The taste is different. So I have to buy something, natural water from the store. It's kind of a pricey, but you really enjoy the natural flavor of water. Because, we try, the distilled water, something like tastes like metal or tastes like iron. I'm from home. I'm from home. But the color, he's darker, he's darker with with Frank. Frank is just like, there's a lot of Filipino that talk to him, Tagalog. Because, his color is not really dark, okay? Because, her mom is just like mix, white and black. Once, the in the MP, most of Filipino bagger in the supermarket, they always speak Frank Tagalog. And then and then Frank asked me, "What they saying, sweetheart?" And then I told him, sometimes Filipino, they said that, oh, nose bleeding. So this afternoon we went to Ace Hardware. Okay, we went to Ace Hardware because we want to buy the pressurized washer. The sales, what do you call that? The one that they want to demonstrate, the demo, demo dicer. The one he demoed, the pressurized washer. And then he had a hard time, he had a hard time to speak to Frank. And then I told him, Kuya, just speak Tagalog na lang. I just translate this to Frank. Oh my goodness. It makes me laugh. So when I know that my people starts to when Frank starts to talk, and then they have, you can see, even though that they're not saying, but you can see, the how, if you know how to communicate with their eyes, you can really tell, oh my goodness, I have a hard time to explain this in English. So how are you, share, I feel sorry about what happened to your your bird. So that's, that's the thing, that having finding a farm, finding a farm. Finding a farm is just like, it's easy, it's easy to finding a farm, but the question is how they are serious at you. Okay, because not all Afam that you met are serious or interested to know you more. But sometimes, some they just want to have, friendship, that after you met, and then you're if they think that you are not, interested, or you're not something like, their ideal women, they don't really want to continue to talk. Okay, so, and actually, some of my friends, they ask, I don't really understand that they think that, once they met, a Western man, they think that it's just like right away your boyfriend and girlfriend. No, I always uh I always tell them that no, you have to invest that to the person. If this person, because the same thing also, like women, we're looking for uh, security when it comes to relationship. Same thing with the men, they're looking for a security and serious woman, because they don't want to spend their time for nothing. Okay, but in the other side of the story is this, like, there's also, guys, there's also some Western men also are scammer. Okay, they want to be friend on you. Okay, and then Once they know you, and that's the start, they will ask how many banks account you have, and then they use other profile that some women, they're looking for a good looking. That's very given for for women, that they're looking for a good looking, but they didn't know that that person is using other picture. Because guys, I have a story, this is real, okay? There's a guy from UK that's in London. He went to my channel, okay, and then I met him in other channel, but I don't want to mention the channels that uh, he visited, okay. And then one time, yeah, the personality is important also, Shadow, okay. What kind of personality they are they are they gentlemen, are they are they snobby, are they are bully? So there's so many types of personality actually. Personality and attitude, I think for me personality and attitude are almost, but you can use different, you can use in different ways, the attitude, because there's a 12 kinds of attitude, um, positive attitude, negative attitude, neutral attitude, egocentric attitude, what else, aggressive attitude. There's so many kinds of attitude, okay. So here's the thing, guys, I will tell you, okay. And then in one time I mentioned about on my live stream, for those ones to find a mate, a Filipina, just contact me, because I have friends also looking for a serious, serious mate, Western mate, okay. And then one day somebody sent me a message to my WhatsApp, and then he said he's very serious to find a Filipina mate. And he thought that I was single, and then I told him, no, I'm not, I'm not available, I'm taken. But I can still be your friend, just only friend, nothing else. But he said that he's looking for, a woman that he can rely on, and then to build a family. Okay, so how serious are you? And then I told him, and then he said 100% serious. And then I have friends, she's single, and I give that contact to him. At first he's very accommodating to my friends, and then I asked my friend, is this man is he's gentleman? And then she said yes, yes. Okay, good. Oh my goodness, guys, after 2 weeks, and then I asked, also I communicate my friend and also him. And then he said, your friend, I like her, she's very independent, very productive woman. And then I told him that's good. And then after 2 weeks, guys, and then my friends told me, oh my goodness, the one, that guy, sometimes he just making something like indecent talk, but my friend don't really ride on. And then he asked about my friend, where you at, are you in bed, what are you doing? So my friends don't really pay attention that she wants to change the topic, because he wants really to know that person. And then one day she asked to my friend, can you send me a picture of your underwear? My goodness, I told to my friend, what? And then, did you send it to him? And then my friend said, no, why should I? And then I told him, and then, and then my friend ignored. And then the second time, he just sent. If my friend can able to send him, wearing a swimsuit, or, wearing brassiere, or, underwear. And then I told my friend, you better stop that or block that person, because that person is not good. Okay, you're just looking for something, because that person is lonely, so he's not serious in you. And then by that time, because a few weeks, my friends wonder why he loves to send me a message, but they did not video call on the WhatsApp. And then I told my friend, okay, observe. One day, my friend, called him, and then the profile that he sent me and profile that is sent to my friend is fake. And then my friend found out that, all of a sudden, instead to decline the call, he pressed the call. And then my friend, just only the seconds, my friend saw him that, he's old and he has no teeth. Okay? And then I told my friend, really? And then she told me, oh, sister, the picture that he sent to me and the picture that he sent to you, it's not him. So that's why, it makes me, oh, really? And then I told him, you better block that person. Okay, no. And then I tried to call him. He just ignored, because I really want to know the reason why I gave to you my friend. Because my friend, she's a decent woman. Okay, she's a decent woman. And you disrespect her. First, you disrespect me. Asking my friend, my goodness, guys, when he asked my friends to, to send, you know, her underwear. Oh, I told my friend, oh, red flag. And then the second time, if my friend can able to send, oh, I told no. It makes me laugh, okay? It makes me laugh about that. So I thought that, he's real. So it makes me laugh, and sometimes, oh, poor man. Okay? Poor man. And sometimes, some women are, victim of, what do you call that? Lab scam. Okay? And then some women, Filipino women, they love to send naked picture. And they didn't know that person talking to them, is that real or not. Because sometimes they use that, because sometimes they use that as a blackmail towards the woman. Okay? If the woman don't really care about her reputation, of course it's easy for her, to send that her naked picture, because especially if the man promised her that, okay, I will send you money. And then for those women that they after the money, of course they will do that, but they don't really know. Okay, if the man will use that as a blackmail, okay, I will delete this if you did not send me a money. Okay, I will post this online. So of course, for those women that their family, their friends didn't know what's her doing, especially uh, online business, of course she has to send money to that person. So that's, that's scary thing. And of course, it's red flag, guys. If the man will ask you, if the man, because if the real man, they, if the man like you, and then he's serious, he will not ask naked picture from you because the respect is there. Because if he like you and then he's serious, they will think, okay, I will build respect with this woman because this is my future wife, or this is the future mother of my children. But for those people, they don't really think that, because they love also to do blackmailing or lab scam. So for those, there's a lot, there's a lot of Filipina doing that, that sending naked picture. Or sometimes there's a, I don't want to mention her name, but some Filipina, they do video showing their meow meow, and then ask money for the man. Yes, that's true. Like they want groceries for their kids. And they really believe that person. But you can't really trust that person. They really trust that person. And then the person tells that, oh, I will not record this. But that man record showing her pussy. Huh? Oh my goodness. Sorry. There's a person that I know, and I know that vlogger, Filipina blogger. I'm sure some of you visit on her show. Not only one man, she did that. That's her, that's her weakness. Weakness. Show her naked body, and then after that, ask money from the men. But some of the men, they don't tolerated it. But there's a man that tolerated that. But that's why I said meow meow, and then I don't know. My goodness, I lost, I forgot. But it is what it is. I already said. But it's not my intention, Shadow, huh? It's not my intention. That's why the first I said meow meow. Yes, but I don't want. Sometimes, women, sometimes people are doing that because it's that's like, especially here in the Philippines, that I don't want to mock those women doing that, because sometimes find a job here in the Philippines is kind of a hard and difficult. Sometimes some, women are just like, what do you call that in English, in Tagalog, that kapit sa patalim, is just like the last option that they can able to have money, especially if they have children. Of course, parent or parents will not allow themselves to look their children dying for starvation. Okay, if the last option that they can able to make money, then go. Okay, we never know, but sometimes, sometimes we cannot really, well, if there's, if there's the last option, guys, I understand those kind of situation, but sometimes women, they just doing that because it's their habit. That's, different thing. If, okay, there's a reason why people doing that, in English. I don't know how to translate that, in Tagalog, kapit sa patalim, or that's the last option. But sometimes women or men, not only women doing that, men also, but it's more common for women doing that. Yes, I don't know, it's just like, sometimes, well, you know what, before, guys, I was so, I don't want, seriously, I don't want to talk, for those, for those whore women. I don't, because, for me, they are not, they are dirty people. Once I was, once I know their story, once I know their story, my mindset starts to change and try to understand their situation, guys. Because, like I said, here in the Philippines, it's hard to find a job. Okay? So, any one of you, if your children ask food and you cannot, in then you cannot have that, you cannot give that to them, it's really painful on your side that, you can't give food. So if there's that's the last option, that they can able to bring food on the table, guys. So I start to understand their situation. Okay, so when I was young, oh, no, no, no. But there's a certain things when you're getting older, your mindset is way different. It totally changed. All right, when it comes to family, you become matured for that. But some people, they are not. Sometimes they are not, no matter how old they are. Okay. Yes, correct. Because, here in the Philippines, shadows, uh, select among the best. Okay, select among the best. And then we have a age limit. Okay. Sometimes older women cannot really find a job because there's a age limit. There's a age discrimination. Yes. So yes, that's one thing that, me, I understand. Here's the thing, guys. Like, well, for, for those, like, for the Dragon War during the time of President Duterte, I cannot blame those victims that's seeking help. And some of those supporters of Duterte, they don't really look at the big picture. These people was killed during the drug war. The family is also victim. All right. So here's my thought process. Why the drug, it's in here, it's still here in the Philippines? Because once the poverty is not solved, that illegal drug is still going on. Okay, not only here in the Philippines, in other countries as well. Once is poverty is still, they cannot stop that, the illegal drugs, because people, people, they just gamble their life to get that money from illegal activity just to feed their family. And then, like I said, having a job here in the Philippines, even though you have degree holder, you have PhD, if you're not, you know, sometimes you're not qualified to hire for the offers work. That's why a lot of, domestic helper, Hong Kong, Taiwan, uh, Saudi Arabia, they are professional guys. They are professional. They have degree holders. Okay? They just go to other countries because when it comes to employment here in the Philippines is kind of a hard and difficult. And it's just like in Tagalog, salat. Yeah. So I cannot blame. I cannot blame people doing that. All right? So we have to think many, many times, okay? Finding a mate. Like I said, don't rush yourself to find, because if you find the right person, you will benefits for that, okay? Because the relationship will work if you find the right one. But if not, you will you will become a heartbroken person because you think that he's the one, but it's not. Take time, be wise, be smart. That's why it's important, guys, that know the person, because there's a lot of accident, like I mentioned about, from Europe, the Filipina. Okay, the man visit here in the Philippines in Cebu. That's, I don't know what's the name of that woman. And they found out that the man has a mental problem. He visit here in the Philippines, and then they get engaged. And then, the Filipina was applied for her tourist visa going to Europe. And then after, the visa was approved, tourist visa, and then they get married, all right? And then that's December. They do road ride. And then at the night, that's the end of the life of Filipina. Okay? You remember that MP? And then they found out that the man has a mental problem. Yeah, be patient also. Yes. No need to rush. You correct, Shadow. Especially once you want to settle. You really, enthusiasm to settle. You have to be patient for that. Because, nowadays, especially young men and women, they just want to have an instant relationship. Because, they use, imagine, guys, for these young people, within an hour, they boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay? They don't really give value, the time that, know the person. And then you find out that this person has a criminal background. Yeah, because the Filipina victim cannot really have the justice, because I don't know, once the person is mentally ill, I don't know what's the case. But sometimes, they don't, sometimes they try to, they try to use that, the mental illness, to just to, what do you call that, dismiss the case. For me, no, you have to pay that. Like in Saudi, guys, if you kill the person, your life also is, you pay your life. If you steal some, if you steal some money, they will cut your finger, what, or left hand or right hand. Which hand that, you get that, they gonna cut your hand for that. Because, this is what I noticed also, like, there's so many incident. Yeah, like, there's some of my friends working in Saudi, just a few people thieves there, even though they left their cell phone on the restaurant, their cell phone is safe because the owner itself, they just get it and keep it. They just wait their customer to come back, and then once they ask, have you seen my phone there? I left on the table. They said yes, and they give it. Same here in the Philippines. If you forgot to, take your phone on the table, especially iPhone, within seconds it disappeared. But put your phone, the old phone, hmm, no matter how many hours, then nobody will touch that. Why? Because it happens to me. I have nothing to worry about my phone. My old phone. It's still there. I have to months out. I have to prepare bed, and I have to go early tomorrow for work. Okay, thank you so much, Shadows, Cat Sweet, for spending time with me. Okay, so take it easy. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's the thing. But anyway, I almost well, it's 2 o'clock na, so I just gonna drink warm milk. Well, let's see, it really work. So, and that's, I always tell to everyone, it doesn't really matter if it's the West, if it's in your country, or if it's in Southeast Asia. Take your time to know the person, because the more you talk to her, the more you talk to him, you will know the answer. Not other people you ask, yourself also, because if you're a smart person, and if you observe and you know how to deal with a person, every time you talk to her or every time you talk to him, you will tell her and his personality. So, and important, guys, you have to know her background, okay? Because it's rampant here, especially for those Filipina involved of blogging. Sometimes their husband is what do you call that, um connivance, no, connivance, that's the term, that they allow their wife to talk with Western people just to ask money. And some Filipina, they tell a lie. They said that they are single, no children, but they have children and husband, because the husband tolerate, or they have agreement, okay, they have agreement, okay, you can talk to Western men, but You have to ask money. Some Filipino husbands are like that. Okay? So you have to be careful about the woman. Okay? They will tell you, "Oh, I'm single. I'm not married. I don't have children." But she has husband. The husband is also agreed that he can talk to a man, but it's just like they have to ask money for that. So you must be aware of that. Okay? And for me, it's just like, if you start talking with a person starts with money, I don't think that that relationship that you're gonna talk online, it will work. Okay? Because once a woman will ask money, followed by, "Oh, I need money," they just always, they cannot really tell you straightly in your face. Okay? We cannot tell you straightly in your face that they will ask money, but the way they talk, it is what it is. Okay? So they will tell, they need their mother medicines for maintenance, or they have to repair, the floor of their house, or the roof, or they need to pay the school tuition of their sister, something like that. Don't fall for that, because she just want to know you, she just want to interest to know you because of that. Okay? Honest women don't really ask money for that. We need money, but once you start talking with the money, red flag. Next. Come visit her many times and spend time with her family. Yes. So that's the thing, that still MP, that there's still a lot of Filipino people that think that Western people coming here in the Philippines, they are rich. They don't really understand that you guys work hard. Okay? You save that money. Sometimes if there's a overtime, you take that overtime so that you can easily save money that you really want to reach the amount. They don't really understand that the only difference is your money is way stretched than our money. Okay? So your money stretch 55 times here in Filipinos money. But some Filipino people, they don't really understand that. Okay? Because in the States, you receive high salary, but the cost of living, the rent, the food, it's also expensive. So if you're not really good to save your money or to manage your money, everything you work is just like good for for the rent, for your food, for your gas. Sometimes you cannot really hang out with your friends because all the money that you receive, it goes to your rent, food, and bills. Especially if you have a lot of credit card. Most of I think most of American people, they use credit card because it's one of the factor also, that if you have a good credit credit record. Frank said that it's easy for you to find a job. If your record is bad, or when you go rent, they always check your credit record, but we don't have here in the Philippines. So here in the Philippines, if you have job, that's regular job. There's a certain bracket of salary that they will allow. Okay, but if you have big enough money in the bank, they're the one gonna apply for you. Okay, so that's very important. So yeah, that's the reason. And then here's the thing, guys. I'm not saying that, for those Western people come here in the Philippines, you don't respect, the family of your girlfriend. Yes, you have to. You have to show respect. That's very important. But it's not the thing that, you have to do party, every day. What they want, you can give. No, it's not. Because some, well, actually, this is all about, how these people think. Because sometimes people, some less education, it's kind of hard for them to understand the situation. While once you explain to them, it's take along for them, to understand. Okay, so you don't have to, you don't have, it's not necessary to give, to give everything. But sometimes some family also, that they're the one who tells their daughter, to ask money from their boyfriend. Oh, you have to be careful about that. Because you're if you're gonna marry their children, and they always tell that to their daughter, that ask money from you. And then, of course, once you're married, of course you start to saving money, because at the end you're gonna build your own family. And then once they ask money from you, oh, you're the bad person, guys. Out of 10 good things that you gave to them, is nothing. Once you refuse to give money to them, is nothing. Okay, so you have to be aware of that, guys. It's nice also to give a compliment to the parents of your girlfriend, but don't do that most of the time, especially if you're planning to settle down. Okay. Hi, Seven Ways. Okay, I promise to you that I will give you ranch. Okay, where is it? Okay, there you go. I'll give you range, because I remember what I promised when I go to Sis Maria's channel. Good evening. No, it's morning here. It's 2 o'clock na. 2 o'clock in the morning. So sometimes, here's the thing, guys. Sometimes, why this Western people, they give because they want to impress the woman. Okay, they want to impress. That's all. Want to impress the family, but you don't have to do that most of the time, my goodness, because at the end of the day, this is between you and her. Okay, remember that. Because I cannot blame some Western people. They said once you marry to a Filipina, you marry the whole family. Because from the start, sometimes it's some Western men's fault. Okay, it's some Western, because that's what they shown. Okay. My GF introduced me to all her aunties, uncles, cousin, and they treat me so well that I feel like I'm part of the family. I get to work on their property and they treat me so good, ate. Yes, that's good to know. They never ask for anything, and you are right. You marry the family. I love them. Okay, because sometimes, I disagree also, because my family don't bother Frank to ask money. Okay? Never, because I told them, wait, I don't marry this person because for the money. Okay, because I marry him because I like him, I love him. Money is given to us, okay? But of course, that money, he worked hard for that money. Okay, I don't want my family use Frank to get money from him. No, but they have also work. They also money. So if you don't have money, that's your problem because you don't know how to save money. Excuse me. And my family anyway. They already knows that I will not tolerate it. But here's the thing, guys. If my family come here and visit, of course, I will take care of them. I will cook, give food to them, good food, okay. But anyway, Frank told me that if your siblings really need help, emergency, he will help. But it's just like everyday daily lives, no. And I will tell Frank, no, it's not your responsibility, to. But if it's important in emergency, yes, he will help. But it's just like everyday or daily lives, no. And I'm the one who will object that. It's so different to how marriage work in the West, I guess. Well, it's just like here in the family that, here in the Philippines, it's family is kind of, you have to deal, I understand why, why sometimes, Western people, they cannot really stand about that because, it takes a lot of, patience and adjustment, the culture, okay? Some of my people, they understand about the culture of West people when it comes to family, but sometimes they cannot they cannot really stand how we really how we really handle our family culture. Because here's in the West, at the very young age, you, as long as you can able to take care of yourself, you're free to live by yourself, right? Here in the Philippines, no matter how, like you have children, sometimes your children has children, you're still living with your parents. Actually, guys, my mother, my dad, well, is very spoiled to my well, my grandparents. We call that Lola. Lola is grandma. Lolo is grandpa. And my mother, how many children they have? And then my mother that really um, forced my dad to to build a house. It doesn't really matter if if it's a small house, but it's just like she wants to separate with my with her parents-in-law. That's my dad's parents. Because you know what, number one, the grandparents is very spoiling to the grandchildren. Okay, if no to mother, yes to grandma and grandpa. And then instead, the children will follow the mother. Of course, the grandpa and the grandma interfere. So the children will follow the grandma and grandpa. So that's why my mother, how many years living together with, 15 years, my goodness. Good thing that when I was born, we have our own house. My parents did not stay in my grandma's house. But my grandma, they like that, but the only thing that my mom really tells to my dad that, it's okay for me and it's okay for her, to build a small house as long as ours. But my father, many times that I remember that, when my mom alive, she tells us that, in the future, if we get married, don't, your husband or you both build your own house. Don't follow what we had because it's kind of a difficult, guys. It's difficult. Yes, family culture is important all over the Southeast Asia. Over here, once we move and with new relationship, rare we got back. Yes, but here in the Philippines, not like that. 7 ways. So imagine, guys, that time, uh, my mother, 10 to 15 years before, my father really, really uh, do his part, to build, the house. Well, actually, we're close to grandpa. We close to lolo. Because my lolo is very, I really admire my lolo. Actually, he's a policeman. Okay, that time during the World War II. But he's not police. I don't know what's the equivalent, but he's a police. That time, he just back and forth from Negros, Bacolod City to Manila. And I remember, he has a picture with President Ferdinand Marcos, the father of our new president Bongbong Marcos. That's the son. So during my grandpa, that's the father, Ferdinand Marcos. He has a picture with President Marcos shake hand in Malacanang Palace. Malacanang Palace, that's the president residence, Philippine president residential. So my father's side, they are not rich, they are not poor, they just like middle class. Okay, because my grandpa has a work, and then my grandma, she's good in business. I remember that my father, they all boys. Okay, they're very, my grandma, they don't really interfere what they want. Okay, and then I remember, my dad told us that, at the very young age, 14, 15, they know how to drive the car because they have car. Oh, 1939, because my dad, he was born 1939. But I love my grandpa. Actually, guys, that's the reason why, 15 years ago that my dad separate, because he's a mama's boy. He's a mama's boy. Actually, well, my grandpa, my Lulu, passed away when I was second year high school. I was 12 years old, guys. So it big loss to us, when my grandpa, that's the father of my dad. And that's, guys, the reason why, we celebrate also uh American Thanksgiving, guys. My dad, because during the World War, you know after the Spanish, when when Japanese attack coming here in the Philippines, that time is American, right? So we're under the colony of, American. So that's the time that we celebrated, Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. And I remember that we invite, American, I met, American Father Martin, and then 1990, 94, I met Father Martin in Claret School for Boys at Quezon City. I remember that because he was the he was the city press in in Bacolod City. So my grandpa always invite him for the Thanksgiving because he's American, and he always bless us. I remember that. And but he's white, he's white, Father Martin. Well, I don't know if it's still in the Quezon City. So that's that's the. And my grandpa, he's good in investment. He loves to invest land. So my dad inherit land from him, and then we inherit that from my dad. So actually when my grandpa retired, and then he focused on the land business, and then he's sugar cane planters. That's that's our and then all my uncles, that's their business, sugar cane farming. Even us, we have a sugar cane farm, because the sugar capital of the Philippines was Negros Occidental. That's my hometown. So most of us, our family business is sugar cane farm or sugar cane farming. But just once a year, guys. But if you're gonna cultivate the sugar cane, guys, it's big. That time way back 1970s, 60s, 70s. Oh my goodness, that's why my grandpa get a lot. Not 100 uh, hectares, but thousands. But sometimes some of the land that was foreclosed by the bank, because my grandpa used that as collateral when he goes to loan in the bank, and then when he died, those taxes did not pay. Okay, so some of the land was foreclosed by the bank, but some we save. I really admire my grandpa because he's very smart, man. Very smart. I remember, he loves, because actually, in my family we're nine. Okay, we're nine girls, and some of my, my cousins. So every weekend we go to, because my grandpa, he has a brick house, big brick house. Every weekend we go there, and then uh, he loves to play with us. If somebody, like, he always tells us, English words or mathematics. No Tagalog, because my grandpa, he's very poor in Tagalog language. But English and math, he's very good in science. So every time that we go, that's our bonding. My grandpa will ask, what's the English of this, that? And then he will give us, 5 cents. That time, the my age, 5 cents, I can buy, a pack of cheese curls, 5 cheese curls, guys. My throat is gonna, if we buy that 5 cents, five pack of cheese curls, my throat was so itchy of eating that. So that's the games that my grandpa. And then if we have sometimes, he will tell us, okay, who get plenty of correct answer, you will receive this by December. Okay, so we really love that, to hang out with, with my grandpa. But my grandma is very strict, my goodness. She don't want to be noise, especially when she's taking a nap, or you cannot really create, because she get upset. And my grandma, she likes, she just, the, what do you call that, the cigar. So the cigar, we call that habano. That's Spanish term of cigar, habano. She likes that, to do. We don't want to stay with her, because the cigar is very smoky, and then the smell is too strong. But my grandpa, I remember, my grandpa's cigarette is Philip Morris cigarette. Actually, Frank told me that's the name of the company, but here in the Philippines, that's, grandpa's Philip Morris cigarette. That's his cigarette. Okay. So we love that, but it's just like, when my grandpa died, we're really, it's a big loss for us. We're very affected on that. Yeah. I have so many memories when my grandpa alive, that when it comes to education, he's very um particular about that. So a while ago, that my sister and me, we have a discussion. We just remind about our grandpa, and he's very he's very protected. What do you call that? Very protective to us. If there's a dancing, because we love, if there's a fiesta, we do some, like Mardi Gras. We love to dance on the street. Oh my goodness, that time that, my grandpa, he makes sure that, the instructor will not uh do some, steps that is not really right, or else he will complain. But actually, that's the reason why, I mentioned about my dad, because, my dad, he's a mama's boy, and then he just go, because we have a big truck, trucking, the sugar cane. And sometimes a month, he just come and send money to my mom. And sometimes, it's not on time. It depends, the the owner of the sugar cane farm that, my dad trucking, sometimes late. So my grandpa, he's the one who take care of us. That's why, guys, I grown I grown that, our snack, the fita, it looks like Ritz crackers, but here in the Philippines, we call that fita version. But in America, Ritz crackers, and then Skyflakes. That kind of crackers, guy, I grown that, because every time my grandpa go to the city, he always buy that for us, for our snack, fita or Skyflakes. Who is this? PM Interior. Nice. Where you from, PM Interior? Have you tried, the Skyflix crackers, MP? But now there's so many flavor now. The Skyflix, by there's choco. But before, just classic. So I grown that. Oh, thank you so much. 7 ways. Take it easy, 7 ways. Okay. Yeah, they have, choco. They are, condensada. There's garlic and chives. And then classic. Oh my goodness, guys. It's 2 o'clock na. Baboosh. So yeah, it's just like, I just remind, that's a good thing, guys, that, there's some people that, leave a good memories to you. You never forget. Okay, you always keep talking. Yeah, that's why, a while ago, that me and my 4 sisters, we talk, and then we just keep laughing, and then Frank wonder why you're laughing, what are you talking, because we talk, not, we don't talk Tagalog because it's not our mother tongue, other dialect, so he just don't really understand what we're talking, so we talk our mother tongue. And then, the thing that we talk about, my parents when they alive, once my dad get upset on us, and then my mom, and then my grandpa, he has a good legacy that, always remember. So guys, I want to stay long, so I really appreciate your time. 7 ways, of course, especially you, MP, and the rest of the people. So I think it's time for me to drink my warm milk. Let's see if it's work, okay? So thank you so much, guys. Yeah, but sometimes, I don't want to talk something, negative, okay? I don't want that. I don't want to, you know, especially bad memories. We don't want that. Forget it, the bad memories. We always talk about the good memories, okay? Because it brings a smile to our face. It brings joys to us. And of course, for those people that can relate about that, all right? So, thank you so much, guys, and have a good day and have a good night to everyone. Bye. Mwah.